7 o'clock. I'm on time and we're live. Hi, guys. I hope everyone is doing really well. I want you to join me by just putting a hand up or maybe posting in the comments to tell me if you can hear me well, because I don't want you to miss tonight's topic. Tonight's topic is going to be a very short video. It will change your life. I promise you, in a good way. But before I start, I've got a little disclaimer to make. I am a little bit lacking energy today, which is very unusual for me. But there are a few reasons behind that. I'm not going to bore you too much. Number one is I'm doing a 24-hour fast, and so it's been 23 hours. 23 hours and 59 minutes for me without any food. I've had 3 liters of water and I feel pretty good, but I just haven't done one for a while. But anyways, that's why I'm lacking the energy. And also there was a new Netflix series that started about Michael Jordan. So I was too excited I couldn't sleep last night. And I've been on calls all day. But anyways, guys, how is everyone doing? I want to see who is here and I want to see where you're from. And I want to see, just get involved, because I want you to ask as many questions as possible tonight and get involved with this, because I find that this thing that I'll talk about tonight, it's probably the first principle that I came across when I started to do self-development work in business and health, and it changed my life. I kid you not. It's one of the first books I ever read. And the principle is about productivity and how you can be more productive. But actually, when you dig deep, hey, Max, when you dig deep into this, you realize that it makes perfect sense that this can be applied in many different areas of your life. So if you know friends and family and people that you know can benefit from this, tag them in here. I want them to know about this awesome principle. This principle was developed by an Italian dude called Mr. Pareto. And this is the second Italian guy I've introduced. So obviously they're a smart bunch. But he was an Italian economist, and he came up with this principle back in I think it was 1895, something like that, which is a long time ago. But this principle still applies nowadays. And back in 1895, because he was an economist, he was doing a lot of research, and he realized something pretty interesting. He realized that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by 20% of the population. So that was like really skewed up results. And what does that got to do with your health, with your productivity, with your life? Why should you care? Well, because of this, because this principle can be applied in every single thing you can think of. And in a minute, I'll give you an example of how that can be. And if you stay until the end of the video, I actually want to show you what are the things that I can teach you or I can coach you with, so that you can get better results with this particular principle, because I've been a massive advocate of it for a long time now. And I'm so glad I stumbled across this book when I was young, because it saved me, gosh, millions of hours, tons and tons of time of research, and just how I live my life, basically. So if you think you can benefit from this, stick around. Now, before we start using examples about this principle developed by Mr. Pareto, they actually call it the Pareto principle. Let's distinguish the difference between two things. Number one is effectiveness versus efficiency. And I'll explain why I'm saying that in a minute. But just think in your head, guys, just try to think of an example of being effective and being efficient in something you do. Whether that's a project at work, whether that's kind of having a healthy relationship with your spouse, whether that's cooking dinner, going to the gym, whether that's anything that involves energy and thinking. Are you efficient or you're effective? And here's the difference. If efficiency, in my opinion, is just doing something in the most economical manner, if you like. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you get given a project at work, you can be very efficient in doing so. So you can do it very quickly in a pretty time efficient manner. But it doesn't mean you did a good job, or it doesn't mean it was the important thing to do. Does that make sense? Whereas if you look at effectiveness is just doing that one thing that can get you closer to your goal. So if your goal is to buy your dream house, now Are you going to start being really efficient and talking to people about, oh, you know what, can you give me everything that you know about? No, you want to be really effective about choosing a technique how to buy your dream house. You might want to draw a picture of your dream house and you put it on a board, so you're constantly thinking about it, so your brain gets to work. You might find out the area and what the prices are and how much you need to save and how much you earn and how much you need to save each month to be able to afford that. You need to get your credit score checked and improved. The same goes to health. If you want to lose 10 kilograms of weight in a healthy way, do you want to be efficient or do you want to be effective? So effectiveness needs to have a goal. It's really important to know what you're doing and why you're doing it, not just being busy for the sake of being busy. I hope that makes sense. I hope you can relate to it. I certainly can. And for the last few months, I've really been thinking about this. Do I want to be busy or do I want to be effective? Because busyness is just so consuming. It's so energy draining. And actually, sometimes it doesn't even produce the results you're after. So my motto in life has always been, how can I do something in the least time efficient way, but to produce the best result possible? So my return on my investment, whether it's opening a business, whether it's helping a client with a health challenge, anything. And this is why I said this principle is so cool, because what I want you to think about now is there an area of your life or an example that you can think of that you can apply this principle to? Just have a little think. Have a little think about, what is it that I'm doing each day that I can improve on by being more effective? Because remember, 80, Mag said, playing badminton is being effective to keep moving. That's so cool. Do you know why? Because it's fun. So it's not just going for a 4-hour walk or a 2-hour run on a treadmill without having a goal. Because if you have fun and if you understand why you're doing it, it's so much easier, it's so much more enjoyable, and you're becoming effective. Now, there's some examples about this 80-20 principle. And when I was researching it, and I've done a lot of work on it, it's really scary actually how many things I can think of that you can apply the 80-20 principle. And just to give you a few examples. So did you know that 80% of car accidents happen caused by 20% of young drivers? How crazy is that? And you can look, and it's almost like a conspiracy theory. There's just so many things you can link this to. There's something about lottery. So 80% of lottery tickets are bought by 20% of people. That's crazy. If you apply this to business, 80% of the income comes from 20% of your customers, the loyal customers. If you apply this to the environment, 80% of the air pollution comes from 20% of our population. It's mad. So this is why I want you not to think about, the bad stuff, but I want you to apply these principles to make your life better. What other examples can you guys think of that can make this better for you? If you're, by the way, guys, if you're still here and you're sharing this on Watch Party, I can't see the comments, unfortunately, for the people that are not part of my Facebook group. However, if I get a chance tonight, I'll definitely reply to you guys, because this stuff is important. This stuff is crazy important. And when you understand the power of this 80-20 rule, it will change your life, especially if you start to apply the principle as well. It's good to know stuff. It's more important to apply it. So my question to you is, if you can think of one thing that you can do as of tomorrow more effectively to give you 80% of your results, what would that thing be? Make sense? So for example, for me in my industry, which is health, when I talk to people, when I try to help people, we try to get to those, what are the things that move the needle, basically? What are those 20% of things that will give you 80% of the results that you're after? Whatever the results are. The results might be, Stefan, I want to make my body more healthy and more resilient because of this coronavirus. Or Stefan, I want to lose weight, but I actually not care about what the scales say. I just want to feel good whilst I do it. Make sense? Awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying this. And if you have like a big aha moment, as in, wow, why didn't I think of that before? Fantastic. This is exactly why we're doing this, is to get people involved and get you guys thinking in a more effective way rather than working your butt off all the time and still not achieving the best results. Because actually, the principle can be switched. So a lot of people are doing 80% of the work and creating 20% results. And this is not to say that you should ignore the other 20%, by the way. So what I'm saying is, if my health is created by the 20% of things I do each day, and it creates 80% results, obviously it's better to have 100% results. But those things just take so much more time and so much more effort. So it just depends on what you value most. So when it comes to health, give me one thing that will give you a massive result. One thing. Because this is not about me. This is more about you guys getting you in this mind frame of positive thinking that anything is possible, but only if you're in a healthy state of mind and if your body's working properly. This is my opinion. Because when I was younger and I almost lost my health, my priorities massively changed. And sometimes when I start to question, oh man, should I be having another healthy breakfast, or should I drink 2-3 liters of water a day? Why should I starve myself for 24 hours? I understand the principle. I understand why I'm doing it. I have this constant reminder that when I was not having my health, it was the worst time of my life. And my lovely fiance saved my life by saying, go to hospital. But this doesn't have to be with everyone, you know? Sometimes it's too late for people, and sometimes people just want to stay well, and that is the best way to do it. But yeah, I just want you to think of one example that will create massive health benefits for you, and this 80-20 principle can be applied. For example, my top 3 or 4 would be, number 1 is reducing your stress. We talked about this in the previous episodes. If you haven't tuned into the YouTube channel, by the way, and you like long videos, and you like being healthy and staying that way, go to my YouTube channel. I think it's my name. I don't think it's Better Brain. I think it's Stefan Gospodinov. And over there, I talk about these kind of things. But yeah, we have made a video before about stress. Stress is a massive one. So having healthy mind will certainly give you massive, massive benefit towards being healthy. Another one is diet. Getting rid of sugar, getting rid of processed foods, including healthy fats. Doing intermittent fasting from time to time might help some people. Sleep is another massive one. So the quality of your sleep and just being physically active. These are some very important things that you have to think about. Now, don't get me wrong. You can start doing supplements and you can start really fine-tuning little things that can contribute to being healthier. But just think about this 80-20 principle. What are the 20%? What are the things that if I use 20% of the time will give me massive results? Because otherwise, we only have 24 hours in a day. If you start doing everything that people tell you to do, you'll just end up doing nothing because it's too much. So I want you to write down some things in your life that will really make a difference if you start to apply the 20-80 principle. I think it will certainly be a massive, massive benefit of people. In terms of productivity, for those of you who have businesses or have jobs that you want to get more productive at, and you're listening and you're tuning in, well, guess what? It's the same thing. So 20% of the stuff you do, all the routines you have, will create 80% of your success. So do you set yourself goals? You know, I teach people how to set goals for the week, how to set goals for the month, how to set their 90-day goals to align with what makes them happy. It's not just about having a goal. It's not just about being efficient. It's about being effective. And it's end of the day, healthy and happy go together. Do you download things that people have already tried and errored? Who here has got the Better Brain food table? If you haven't, drop me a message. I will send it to you. It has all the sections of the things that are good for you, the things that are average for you, and the things you should definitely avoid. So don't worry about buying book after book or reading a magazine after a magazine about nutrition. Just please use the stuff that people have done for you to save you time and time and time again of energy and resources. Do you use apps? For example, we're talking about productivity. You know, one of the things I use is Google Drive. I can probably run my second business just from Google Drive, which is insane. Google Calendars. Do you use Google Calendars? And there's loads of productivity apps like Twilio and that kind of stuff that really makes a difference to your level of being effective. And I think I've said the word effective enough times now. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you do want to understand a little bit more about this principle, the book that I purchased years ago that changed my life was called the 80-20 Principle by Richard Koch, or however you pronounce his name. Koch, I think. K-O-C-H. Richard K-O-C-H. I didn't want to sound rude and pronounce his name wrong. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this 80-20 principle. I want you to screenshot this today, and I want you to have it on your photos or on your memory, so you can think about this 80-20 principle at all times. It will save you money, it will save you time, it will save you energy, it will make you healthier, happier, and fingers crossed, guys, this lockdown is hopefully soon over, so we can go back to normal lives, but make the most of it. Spend time with family and friends and loved ones. Stay healthy, love and appreciate. Until next time. Bye-bye.